Hi, my name is Easton Lewis, and today I'll be going over Chapter 19, the Employment Relationship and Immigration Laws. At the beginning of this chapter, it describes wage and hour laws. It first describes the Davis-Bacon Act. And the Davis-Bacon Act is contractors and subcontractors working government projects are required to pay the prevailing wage. It continues with the Fair Labor Standards Act, which is known as the FLSA. This covers all employers engaged in interstate commerce or the production of goods for interstate commerce. It also goes with Wage and Hour Division, known as the WHD, of the Department of Labor, known as the DOL, is responsible for enforcing the FLSA. The chapter continues with the FLSA record-keeping requirements. This contains employee's full name and social security number, address including the zip code, birthday if under 18, sex and occupation, time and day of week when the employee's work week begins, hours worked each week and day, total hours worked each work week, basis on employees' wages are paid, regular hourly pay rate, total or weekly straight time earnings, total overtime earnings for the whole work week, additions or deductions for an employee's wages, total wages paid each pay period, and the date of payment, which the pay period is covered by each pay. Chapter then goes on to continue what the unemployment compensation is. And this is the Federal Unemployment Tax Act, which provides compensation to qualified employees who lose their job. The tax paid by the employees is deposited into the federal government's unemployment insurance fund. States can, States can draw and distribute funds, but it does not cover employees fired under a just cause or employees who have voluntarily quit. Its eligibility standards differ amongst the states. Next is the workers' compensation laws, and this provides financial compensation to employees or dependents when an employee is injured on the job. Recoverable benefits is specified by each state's relevant statute and claims process, which state agencies are responsible for the compensation fund and adjudicating claims. The benefits is that saves expenses of hiring an attorney to prove negligence on a part of the employer. And then next, the chapter introduces the Family and Medical Leave Act of 1993. This guarantees that workers facing a medical catastrophe or certain specific family responsibilities will be able to take needed time off from work. The leave will be granted without pay and no loss of employment or medical benefits. This employs to public employees and private businesses with more than 50 workers. This provides up to 12 weeks of leave during a 12-month period for any of the following family-related occurrences: birth of an adoption of a child, placement of a foster child in employee's care of a seriously ill spouse, patient, or child, and seriously health condition that renders the employee unable to perform any essential functions of her or his job. Next, the chapter continues with the Occupation Safety and Health Act of 1970. This is designed to make a workplace free of recognized hazards that are likely to cause death or serious harm to employees. The OSHA is the agency responsible under the OSH Act for setting and enforcing standards for occupational health and safety. The enforcement uses unannounced inspections and levies fines against violators to encourage eliminations to hazards. The inspection procedure consists of unannounced inspections are conducted. Inspector meets with the person in charge, a union representative, and then inspectors review relevant records and cases. The penalties is willful or repeated violations, a maximum of $70,000 per violation. The first conviction is $10,000, 6 months in jail, and the subsequent convictions is $20,000 and 1 year in jail. Serious and non-serious violations is a maximum of $7,000 per day of noncompliance, and multiple violations end with 1 fine. Safety violations is a fine and change in the working conditions. And then lastly, for the Occupational Safety and Health Act, as public education and free considerable on-site consultants with employers to bring businesses to OSHA standards. And the state plans is states regulated workplaces by establishing and enforcing standards that will be effective as a federal standards. And then the chapter goes on to the employee privacy rights. And this is UMBA's Crime Control Act, which provides employees with enforceable privacy rights in the workplace. And the Electronic Communications Privacy Act prohibits international interception of electronic communications and intentional disclosure of or use of information obtained through such interception. This includes a business extension exemption, and employers can monitor employees' telephones, calls in the ordinary course of the employment. Next, the chapter introduces drug testing. And Drug-Free Workplace Act requires employees to develop an anti-drug policy for employers, provide drug-free awareness programs, create awareness of assistance programs for drug problems, and create awareness of penalties for violating the company's drug-free policies. And then also the chapter introduces immigration law. And these are non-citizens that can be authorized to work in the U.S. on a temporary or permanent basis. It also mentions green card holders and different types of visa holders as well. So that's all I have for this chapter. I thought it was really interesting learning how many acts and relationship laws go into the workers and how they affect employees and how they apply in the workforce. So thanks.